Shalom, giving all praise to Yahawah, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, QADASH. Giving all praise to Yahawah, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, QADASH. Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. Not going to make this long, but let's see where the Spirit takes me. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, if you want somebody to beat up on, this is the guy. And when I say beat up on, I mean spiritually beat up on. This clown right here, Pastor Ron Wright. Now, this video was put up a month ago. Beware of the false teachings of the black Hebrew Israelites. They lying fools, Revelation 2, 8 to 11. As you see his TikTok over there. And he features IUIC. This is Deacon Abiel of the IUIC. Anyway, I don't know when this was filmed. I don't know the whole background, but he's speaking on Revelation 2 verse 9. So this guy calls us a bunch of fools and twist. Well, it says right here, Revelation 2, 8 to 11 taught in its entirety the IUIC never teach. Verse 8 to 11. I might even go into that. The black Hebrew Israelites are lying, scripture twisting devils. They call he would never say that concerning a so-called white pastor. You have so many different organizations, Christian organizations out there that contradict what they say. You know, in other words, one group of Christians break down, get an understanding of the scripture different from another Christian group. So they're just a bunch of they're just a bowl of mixed nuts. All you got to do is go to the commentary. I do that all the time, and each commentary, some of them pretty much say the same thing, but then they ultimately say different things. So they'll hit certain points, but they'll go off on other points. Anyway, it says the black Hebrew Israelites are lying, scripture twisting devils. And this is self-hatred. He hates his own kind. He would never say that about a so-called white man, a white pastor. They are a demonic cult, and all the scandals among Christians, I'm talking about the white pastors and ministers, and even Jake, he'll never say nothing like this about them. Stay away from them. See 1 Timothy 4, verse 1. So, like I said, if you want to beat up on somebody, go ahead and beat up on this clown, this idiot. This was put up a month ago, 34 views. And I guess he put that up there, you know, to get, that's to go, you know, in other words, when they see Hebrew Israelite, black Hebrew Israelites, they'll flock to the page. You got one comment here. But the Christianity is a tremendous joke. It's a big joke. Okay. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go to Revelation 2, verse 8 and read to 11. And unto the angel of the church at Smyrna write, these things saith the first and the last, which is YAHAWASHI, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works. So that's talking about what the Lord said. He's given it to one of the 7 churches in Asia Minor. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And we use that to point to the small hats. But if you really want to get technical, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the commentary just to see what they say. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried or tested, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days for a time. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Now, some of us will face death for not accepting the charagma, pursuant to Revelation 20, verse 4. Some of us will suffer, be beheaded. Okay, so now let's do this. Let's see what the Bible commentary has to say about this. Okay, open this up. Bear me for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna go to Google. Click on Google, and then I'm gonna put bear me for a minute. Commentary. I normally go to the Bible Hub because I'm familiar with it. Let's go to the shortest one first. Let's go to a short one. Okay, let's go to Matthew Pole's commentary. I know that works in tribulation, though the term "no" doth not necessarily signify approbation, yet both as to the church of Ephesus and Smyrna, the particular works mentioned assure us that the Most High God right here approved their patient suffering, affliction for this name. So yeah, you got to say it was talking about in particular, the church of Smyrna, which is one of the 7 churches of Asia Minor, but we apply it today. You got to qualify it. It says in poverty and the poor condition as to outward things into which they had brought themselves. This is compared to the church of Laodicea, which they were a church that were rich. So the Lord got on them. Don't be boasting because you're rich, because you're really lukewarm. It said, for their owning and profession of the gospel of the Messiah, having their estates rent from them. Estates meaning their living places, what they live off of. But thou art rich, but yet they were rich, but really in the love of and favor of the Most High, as spoke about in James, the poor, rich in faith, and also in the esteem of the Most High, who accounteth them rich, who abound in spiritual habits and good works. the exercise of those habits. So they're really not telling me anything. Okay, let's see what it says over here. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not. The Lord also knows the evil speeches of his church's enemies, whether native Jews glorifying in circumcision. So, like I said, you had to qualify that. Back then, you had the Jews that didn't accept the Lord, and they boasted themselves in the law. That was the whole the wicked scribes and Pharisees coming against the Lord. That's what it was all about. When he cursed them out, you can read Matthew, the 23rd chapter. It says, glorifying in circumcision and the laws. Does that sound like a group that we know? And that they were descended from Abraham, well, that's John, mentioned in John chapter 8, or false Christianity, who may be here meant called Jews by a figure, the Jews being once the only church of God, but are the synagogue of Satan, but are indeed a collection of devils, and devils meaning false accuser. Diabolos means slanderer, false accuser, or the children, in which vocab alone is a devil, or the children of the devil, whose works they do continually, reviling true Christians, true believers, and murdering the saints after the manner of their father, who was a murderer from the beginning. So that's obviously from St. John, the 8th chapter. So when you go to Revelation 2:9, you got to qualify. You got to say, back in those days, those Jews were talking about the ones that never accepted the Lord, and you got to take them to John 8, because in John 8:44, what does he call them? A bunch of devils. Those ones, and he called them a bunch of vipers in Matthew 23. So you qualify it by saying it was talking about the Jews back then. But now we bring it up to date, and we point at the so-called, the so-called the small hats, as we call them. So let me come back over here if I can find them. Okay, so like I said, if I remember, I'll leave the link in the description box. But if you go to Pastor Ron Wright, and the title is "Beware of the False Teachings of the Black Hebrew Israelites. They lying fools. They's lying fools." And he would never say that. He would never speak that negatively to so-called white pastors and ministers. He called us scripture twisting devils. They are a demonic cult. Stay away from them. So this is a damn jackass that nobody listens to or watch. So like I said, if you want to beat up on them in the spirit, be my guest. With that, I'm going to say shalom.